So when I was younger, I often wondered if anyone would ever invent a time machine. And it's dawned on me as I've got older that we've already really got one in the family. We've got song travel.
The time passes over more cheerful and gay, since we've learnt a new act to drive sorrows away. Sorrows away, sorrows away.
We're going to use a wonderful recording today from the archive. It's of Jim Copper, our great-granddad, singing Bold General Wolfe, recorded in 1952. Jim does a fantastic thing in this song. As an old country boy, as he was, he changes the tune whenever he feels like it. So the first line of the first verse he sings with one tune, and then on the subsequent verses he does something different. Jim was the last in a long, long line, a line that stretches back 1,000 years or more, of these old country people who even the Industrial Revolution had passed by. He was hanging on to memories and ways of doing things that had existed for countless generations. You can really hear that in the sound of his voice. These people, the songs that they sing and the way that they sing them, they'd only really heard their contemporaries in a very small surrounding sing these songs, so they were uninfluenced by other singers. The majority of singing they'd have heard is in the tap room, at home, or in church. And really, these sounds we can't replicate now because we're also immersed in the sounds of the modern world and how technology can change voices. So this is a real transport back to the sound, that pre-industrial sound, that sound from the 18th century and before.
Bold General Wolfe to his men did say, "Come lads and follow without delay."
So the song we're going to look at today is Bold General Wolfe. It's written about a battle in 1759 in Quebec. It's the battle for the Plains of Abraham, part of the 7 Years' War, or what's often referred to as the French-Indian War. The start of the 7 Years' War is really where some French settlers start pushing down into the Ohio Valley, where there are already British settlers. This leads to a set of skirmishes in the early 1750s, a series of minor battles in which the French have definitely got the upper hand. In one of those battles, the future first president of the United States, George Washington, who was then a British commander, is defeated by the French. So the series of defeats in 1754 and 1755, they go largely unnoticed by the British public, and the British government aren't hugely interested either. But a new Prime Minister comes in, William Pitt, in 1756, and he decides to invest heavily in the war. The tide of the war starts to slowly turn, and there's a couple of notable victories for the British in Louisbourg and Fort Frontenac. The battle we're concentrating on today is in 1759. It's the battle for Quebec, the battle for the Mounts of Abraham, and it's really the pivotal point in the war for the British. They'd started to pick up some momentum, and with this victory, which they gain at Quebec, it's the point where it's all downhill from there for the French. So we thought we'd walk you through verse by verse through the song today. We're going to use the songbook, Jim Copper's songbook, funnily enough, that he wrote down in 1936. Imagine yourself stood on that battlefield that morning before the first shots were fired, that energy, that terrible nervous energy in the air, and the idea of what was about to happen. You can smell the gunpowder, you can feel the tension in the song. So Bold General Wolfe to his men did say, "Come lads and follow without delay to yonder mountain that is so high, don't be downhearted, don't be downhearted, for we'll gain the victory." So really setting the scene for the battle, for stood on the battlefield that morning, that nervous anticipation of what they're about to do, remembering that their supply lines were really stretched, the British were in really bad shape and were really outnumbered, and he's galvanising the men for what they're about to do.
Bold General Wolfe to his men did say, "Come lads and follow without delay, to yonder mountain that is so high, don't be downhearted, for we'll gain the victory."
There stand the French on the summit high, while we poor souls in the valley lie. We saw them fall like bots in the sun, and bots is blue bottles, the flies. Through smoke and fire, all from our British guns. Imagine the smoke and the fire and the bullets whizzing round, and it was really the double shotting of the rifles and the speed with which they could reload that really turned the tide of the battle that day and pushed the British onwards.
There stand the French on the summit high, while we poor souls in the valley lie. We saw them fall like moths in the sun, through smoke and fire, through smoke and fire, all from our British guns.
So the first broadside the French did give us did wound our general in the left breast. Yonder he lie, for he cannot stand, yet fight on boldly, yet fight on boldly. While I live, I'll have command. Unbeknownst to some of the men on the front, their commander, General Wolfe, is hit. He's hit in the first French fusillade. He's hit with a bullet in his left breast. He also goes on to be hit in the stomach and in the hand as well. He's mortally wounded, and he knows he's mortally wounded, but still he's calling to his men to push on and push for victory. So that scene of Wolfe as he lies bleeding, trying to encourage the men on to victory, is wonderfully captured in a painting by Benjamin West, which was done in 1770, and really is a classic of the period and helps set the scene for that epic moment in the battle.
The first broadside that the French did give us did wound our general in the left breast. Yonder he lies, for he cannot stand, yet fight on boldly, yet fight on boldly. While I live, I'll have command.
Here is my treasure, lies all in gold. Take it and part it, for my blood runs cold. Take it and part it, bold Wolfe did say. Ye lads of honour, ye lads of honour, since you have gained the day. Wolfe knows he's dying. He knows he's not going to live to see another day, and his thought is always for his men. He knows the battle is potentially won, but take my stuff, share it amongst you. This is your victory. This is your battle. He knows they're going to push on and win now.
Here is my treasure, lies all in gold. Take it and part it, for my blood runs cold. Take it and part it, brave Wolfe did say, ye lads of honour, ye lads of honour, since you have gained the day.
When to old England you do return, tell all my friends I am dead and gone, and bid my mother so kind and dear, no tears to shed for me, no tears to shed for me, for our lads did gain the day. So the battle is won. Wolfe knows he'll never head back to Britain, he'll never be able to celebrate this victory with his men, but he wants the lads, his comrades in arms, to tell the public in Britain what a magnificent victory they've won, and to tell his mother not to weep for him.
When to old England you do return, tell all my friends I am dead and gone. And bid my mother so kind and dear, no tears to shed for me, no tears to shed for me, for our lads did gain the day.
So as the dust and the smoke settle at the end of this incredible battle, Wolfe has lost his life, as has the opposing commander, the Marquis de Montcalm, and the town of Quebec is ruined. Such is war. But the British have won. They've done what they set out to do, and it's the real springboard for them to push on then, take Montreal, win the war and push the French out of Canada. So here we are, 261 years after the Battle of Quebec, still feeling moved and enthralled by the passion that's conveyed in this song. We're so lucky to have these recordings, this connection we've got in the family, this way of transporting us back in time to the 18th century and beyond. It's the kind of thing that great literature can do, great art can do, and it's a thing that these songs can do as well, especially when they're delivered by people who have that unbroken connection back to those times.
Bold General Wolfe to his men did say, come lads and follow without delay
To yonder mountain that is so high, don't be downhearted, don't be downhearted, for we'll gain the victory.